Yeah, first of all, it was just as you usually expect in our league, an absolute battle last weekend. Really two coin toss games where it could have went either way, and we were fortunate to find a way to win in overtime after a really big save by Dryden McKay to allow us to get to overtime, and then Saturday night the difference was an empty netter. So really, really good series. Hopefully, we're a better team going through it. I'm happy to get the 5 points. Fortunate. And now we're going to one of our biggest rivals, Bemidji State. A very important time for both teams, and look forward to trying to find a way to get some points in Bemidji and close out our first half.
Great, thanks for that. On the line with us right now is Kevin Dudley from the Mankato Free Press. Kevin, do you have a couple questions for Mike?
Mike, we're going to talk to Wyatt here, so I'll ask a few about him. He's obviously been your captain, and that's obviously a big job, to wear a badge in your program. Maybe just talk about how he's stepped into that role and the things he's done as captain for you.
Yeah, you know what, Wyatt? He going all the way back to this last summer, Wyatt has done a tremendous job of setting examples and really leading our group, whether it's been our training during the summer, whether it's been away from the rink and taking care of not only himself. He showed up in phenomenal shape and really has just been a selfless individual that a lot of people have been able to look at. And
Jack Hittinger from U.S. College Hockey Online asked a question about the Bemidji State MSU rivalry. Goes back a long time. We've had some great games between the two teams this weekend. Going up to Bemidji as the #1 team and playing for the top spot in the standings make things more intense.
Well, I think the latter part of that, and it seems like anytime we're playing Bemidji, you're playing for playoff positioning, and with both teams being where they're at right now, we're chasing Bemidji. Bemidji's only lost, I think right now we're 5 points up on them, but they've got 2 games in hand. So if they were able to win those, we'd be behind them. So they're very important for us because we view them as a team that's ahead of us, even though the numbers aren't equitable because of games. Rivalry, it's something that goes all the way back before myself and Tom.
Bemidji, it's you go back to Don Rose, you go back to Coach Peters, and the battles that have gone long-standing, and it really hasn't changed. It doesn't matter where either team is in the standings. It's always because of where we are in proximity. They're our closest competitor in the league, other than St. Thomas now. And historically, you've seen, excuse me, whether you talk the last 10 games or you talk the last 10 years, it seems like every time we get together, it's a battle, and I don't see anything different this time.
Kevin, I apologize, and John Myers on the line with our issues with audio. Hopefully you're able to hear Mike now. Kevin, do you have another question?
Mike, another one about Wyatt. He's obviously someone who's faced some adversity. He's talked about his sophomore year being in and out of the lineup, how that was tough on him. Maybe talk about how he's handled that and some areas you've seen his game improve, over the last year and a half.
Yeah, when you sit and talk to Wyatt, about his experience in our program, there's been some peaks and valleys. He goes through his freshman year and he contributes as far as playing time pretty consistently, and then goes through the sophomore year that you've referenced and doesn't get as much ice time. Adversity, in my opinion, it exposes you. It shows the true colors when things aren't going real well. How do you react to it? And all Wyatt did was control what he could control, which was his effort, his attitude. He went right back to work, communicated very well on hey, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to get in the lineup? And did that without being real selfish about it. Even though I know it was burning him up inside, he's the type of young man that just you didn't see it. You didn't see a pout. You didn't see him trying to bring others down, even though the game wasn't paying him back for what he thought the effort was. And, you know, he has told me, and I think he's told others, it's made him stronger. And I think it's why you see the respect that you see with him wearing our badge as far as the captain of our team, because they know he's visited the peak and the valleys, what a career is in a program. And he's done it in a very selfless manner. So I've got a tremendous amount of respect for him, one as a player and what he does and how hard he is to play against. And then two, how giving he is of himself for others, and what a great example he's been in his time here at MSU.
John Myers, do you have a question?
Yes, Coach, you know, you referenced the long time rivalry, and you probably know pretty much what Bemidji State's going to bring. Is there much difference with this year's team compared to last year or several years ago? Or do you, when you play the Beavers, do you pretty much know what you're going to get from Coach Saratori and that team?
Yeah, you know what, that's actually I think a really good question, based upon each year is different, each team's different. And, you know, the one thing that's consistent, their effort, which they're gonna come and compete, try and out-compete you. Two, the things that they get to control, they're well coached. You know, they're gonna forecheck, they're gonna try and create turnovers by taking time and space away. Their special teams are really good. Their power play, I think, is top 10 in the country. Their penalty kill year in and year out is top 10. Right now, they've got the two cylinders in our reload are probably about as productive. I think between the three of them, they're at 60 or 61 points. That's a significant number when you're not even to the break yet. And so they've put together a line that I think is dynamic and drives that group. And then they've got a lot of other guys that buy into the we factor, and they're going to block shots. They're going to be good on face-offs. They're just a very detailed group that goes out and puts the work boots on every day. And I think that's what Bemidji's been, whether it's this year or the last 10 years. And even before that, they're a hard out. If you're going to get points when you go up to Bemidji, you're going to have to earn them. They're not gonna, they don't beat themselves. They're disciplined. They very, very seldomly take penalties, definitely not undisciplined ones. And so I just think they give you an opportunity again to look in the mirror and see about yourself. And we're gonna have to be really good if we want to get any points.
Question from Jack Hittinger. He says, I think we all know the rankings and polls don't necessarily mean much this time of year, but I do wonder how much your coaching staff thinks about it when you're ranked number one. Is it something you guys look at all, or is it just a distraction?
Well, you don't look at it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all judged when the season's over. You know, we're at a point right now, and again, we appreciate the recognition for what an opinion poll is, and that's really what it is. I think if you look throughout college hockey, there's one poll that everybody's concerned about, and that's the last one. Where you sit, and then, you know, what we're all trying to do right now ourselves, Bemidji, Tech, everybody in our league, everybody really in college hockey, is you're putting together your book of business right now and trying to get as far up the pairwise rankings as you can to qualify for the NCAA tournament while you're pursuing your league regular season, playoff seedings, to set up what's going to happen in the playoffs on who you're going to play. And that is just it's a never-ending process throughout your season at building your book of business. This is another opportunity for us to write a page in that book against a very quality team that I think, you know, is a top 15 or top 16 team in the pairwise right now, and going on the road and trying to find a way to garner some points and garner an opportunity to either, you know, move up or move down in the pairwise rankings, because that's what dictates who gets to play at the end of the year in the NCAA tournament.